This game pisses me off. I really wanted to like it, so bad that after all of these years of having concluded that I hated it, I still went back to it recently to give it yet another chance. It's dark, edgy, a bit extreme with some horror elements. I don't even know how it got away with a teen rating in North America. The game was a big deal when it came out, and it even has a very well documented Wikipedia article. But of course, outside of Japan, the game's really obscure and no one talks about it anymore. In fact, did people ever talk about it? Ever? So what the hell is this? Well, why don't we check out first an old review I made about it years ago, and then I'll tell you if I changed my mind about it recently. Here you go. Baroque on the PS2 and the Wii was also a huge project gone wrong. And I'm talking about its remake, not the original version on the Sega Saturn, only in Japan, which was vastly different. It was developed by Sting Entertainment, famous for producing hard and overly complicated games. A visual novel, a book, a manga, and even various video game spin-offs based on it. All in vain as the remake itself flopped in reviews. Story was great though, which means at least the non-gaming media is completely worth it. Baroque says on a post-apocalyptic and highly dark universe with an amnesiac protagonist at the center, he encounters a mysterious angel who tasks him with exploring an obscure tower. His main goal though is to eliminate the meta beings, humans who transform into monsters thanks to the horrible delusions of reality inside the tower. The plot involves human experimentation, questioning of religion, bizarre science fiction elements. It's awesome! But the gameplay completely destroys it all. It's a roguelike RPG, so it's very hard and rough like most of its kind, but this one plays also like an action RPG where you can fully move and control your character. Yeah, with terrible camera, awfully dark graphics, and horrendous difficulty spikes. Collision detection works whenever, and because of the aforementioned issues, it makes some fights frustrating. And oh yeah, you die on any floor and you go back to the beginning to level 1 with all your items lost, like most roguelike RPGs. So for starters, since that genre isn't for everybody, therefore the game as well isn't for everybody, right? Well, I'd say this game isn't for anybody, it's for nobody, it's bad! I sound angry because I really dug the concept, the ideas and the plot of Baroque. I guess I'll have to settle with the other media connected to it and forget this remake ever happened in the first place. Man, if I sounded angry in that review, it's justified, trust me. You saw for yourself. The game has terrible combat controls and camera. However, you'll be surprised to hear that I've actually changed my mind about it. I don't think it's as terrible as I made it sound a few minutes ago or in any other video where I've covered it before, mostly only to insult it. Don't take me wrong though, the game's still very rough, but I don't believe it's as bad as I thought. I showed you before the Wii version, which isn't different at all from the PS2 version I'm showing you right now. And also, keep in mind my review is about the remake, not the original first-person game, which I haven't played on the Sega Saturn and on PS1. I think it's also released on Switch, but only in Japan. So, this remake, I don't hate it anymore. For starters, the music is great. It has a terrific soundtrack which varies from floor to floor, mixing some techno with industrial metal. I love it. Original OST was done by Masaharu Iwata, but the rearrangements for this remake were done by Shigeki Hayashi. He did a great job. Second, I just find the story extremely intriguing. Even though you're this amnesiac dude, little by little you start making sense of the plot and of who he is and what he's done, because apparently everyone tells him he's supposed to atone for his sins. The game's messed up atmosphere, bizarre characters and horror elements are also what compel me to give it one last chance. It even has a sense of humor, not just with some NPCs you find at base, but also with the people he used to know that seem angry at him for some reason, like this girl for example. And when it comes to gameplay mechanics, I'm not a big fan of roguelikes, but after playing some bangers like Izuna or Shiren the Wanderer,
I kinda started developing an appreciation for them. It plays like those, but in full control of your character as you've been seeing. Like in those games, floors are randomly generated, items are scattered around, or you find them by defeating enemies. You have an HP bar, but also a vitality bar. You use seeds to recover your vitality because if it reaches 0, you die. HP recovers over time, but there will also be food you find around to heal yourself, mostly flesh. Yeah. And once you find these disgusting purple portals, you'll be able to save your game if you want to and advance to the next floor. So all of these mechanics are fine. It's too bad nothing can be done about this terrible combat. I mean, just look at this! The beat 'em up style is just as bad as I remembered it to be. You do eventually find some ammo for your weapon and can start shooting at enemies and killing them in one shot, but there's no lock or auto lock feature, so without being in the right frame, you'll miss a lot. But yeah, weapons and ammo are scarce, and for the first chunk of the game, you'll have to rely on these pathetic beat 'em up controls. That is until you get gang-banged by surprise from all sides and die miserably. But hey, it's a roguelike. You're supposed to die every now and then to come back to base and progress with the story until the Archangel here gives you your weapon back and off you go again to face the damn tower. The Neuro Tower. Has a lot of psychological themes too, by the way. Anyway, the camera I can get used to, but the combat is a pain in the ass. You have difficulty settings at the beginning of the game, and trust me, there is absolutely no shame at all playing this on easy, because you're still gonna get your ass kicked, primarily thanks to the horrible controls. I never got used to them, but I pulled through several floors somehow. Nonetheless, just because I tolerated them doesn't mean you will. So, in conclusion, despite having changed my mind with it and kinda liking it nowadays, sadly, I still can't recommend it. Maybe if it gets remastered someday, someone could vastly improve the combat because it's by far the biggest issue it has, apart from the camera. With better controls, I'm sure this game will be able to achieve its true potential and be fantastic. Somebody should do a remake of the remake, goddammit. But a game with a story like this nowadays, oh boy, it will be horribly censored and politicized. Well, that's it for Baroque. PS2, Wii, play whichever version you want, but obviously this game is only for masochists who are into bad games with punishing gameplay, but rewarded by a killer dark story and badass soundtrack.